y'all, welcome to The Project Lady. If you're new, thanks for being here. I appreciate it, and thanks for watching. Today I am doing part 2 of helping my neighbor clean up his rental property, and I am going to start in the backyard. This is going to be a multi-day project, probably 3 days. I will show you a little sneak peek of what we're dealing with, but there's a lot of trees to trim, a lot of overgrowth, and then we will weed eat and mow just like we did the front yard. It's going to be a lot of work. It's hot, but we will get it done. I'm excited, so here's a little sneak peek. I really want to thank all of those new viewers and those of you that have subscribed recently. I really appreciate it, and that's what helps this channel the most, is getting new subscribers, and I'd love to be able to do this for more people, and as we grow that will help. So if you haven't already, if you're new or if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, if you wouldn't mind subscribing down below, it's the best way to help me and the Project Lady channel grow. Now today we are going to start on part 2 of helping my neighbor with his rental property. We are now in the backyard, and it is an overgrown mess. It's a very large property. I don't know if you can see behind me, but there are a ton of trees and a ton of overgrowth that we need to deal with. My goal is to do this in 3 days. I have about 3 hours that I can work on it this afternoon. So I'm going to start in this front corner that is closest to the street, and I'm gonna get some trees trimmed and try to make my way around the exterior of the property along the fence lines. And then hopefully the second day I can mow and finish the yard. And then the third day, we are going to have to address the outside of the fence at the back of the property. There's about a 5-foot easement between this property and the new apartments that they built, and it is about shoulder high of grass and weeds. So that's gonna be a lot of work, and I'm gonna need to get the boots on for that. So again, I appreciate you being here, and if you wouldn't mind, if you would like to support the Project Lady, I have included a link in the description below. It is for the Buy My Coffee. And if you'd like to buy me a coffee, all of the proceeds for that will go towards buying equipment and buying supplies so that I can keep doing some of these projects and helping out my neighbors, helping out my community. So I would really appreciate it. And I hope y'all are having a great day. Let's get ready for the project. Still day 2. I've only been doing this about 10 minutes, but I had to change shirts. That shirt was way too hot. Need new gloves. Yes, I have bug spray on. Yes, I wear sunscreen sometimes when I'm in the sun. Some of you asked or commented why sleeves if it's so hot, but it scratches up your arms to reach in and pull branches, and it doesn't really make that big a difference on the heat. And plus, I sweat a lot and it soaks up a lot of the sweat, so I prefer sleeves when I'm trimming trees and stuff. Chainsaw would help make this a lot easier, but I don't have a big chainsaw. This is the only one I have. So if you'd like to click on that Buy Me a Coffee link and donate some money, then I will buy a big chainsaw and make this easier. But until then, it's my trusty 6-inch Ryobi. gonna bring you in here closer and show you how these are branching off. They're just suckers off of this main big tree. So I'll clean all that up when I get done. But I'll just go up as high as I can, clean this tree up, make it look better. But yeah, a professional tree trimmer with a big chainsaw would be ideal, but we will get it looking better. I know one of the comments is going to be, what kind of tree is this? And I don't know, but I'm going to go with pecan would be my guess, because they're very common here. But I don't know. If you know, comment down below and let me know what kind of tree this is. Another thing we have here in Texas that's fun and gross are locusts. I don't know if you can see that, but they're these little like bug things that attach to trees, and they hiss and make these noises, and then they leave their shell and I guess die or fly off. I don't know what happens to them, but they're really noisy and loud in the spring. To start piling all the branches up on this concrete pad. It's actually the top of the storm cellar, and then that way at the very end I'll just pick it all up at once. If I had a tarp, that would be ideal, but I don't have a tarp, so I'm just gonna pile it up and haul it off once my husband can help. Why is cleaning up the mess the worst part? Well, I found a metal bar. I think it's one of those like turn the water on and off crowbar type thingies. Found one in the ground. That would have been fun to mow over. Here's another thing I've noticed on trees is these little growths. This is how the suckers start. They just grow out of these old knots where the trees have been trimmed before, and then they, you know, grow into big branches. But if you catch them like this, you can get them young. And then those will dry out and go away. Okay, so we're already looking better. Not bad. This is an old storm cellar. I can't remember if I said that or not. I'm not going down there because this part of the country, there's no telling what's in there. Snakes and bugs, oh my. So we are gonna go over here and start on this corner. care if I come through here and get this couch. You can tell that the wind blows this direction and blows all of the trash up against the fence because it's just collecting all this. Mom, I just realized that that whole section that I just did, my camera turned off. I guess it got too hot. So here's what I did. Weed eated and picked up all this trash. It is 100 degrees out here and like 80% humidity. So my phone and my camera are just not surviving this heat, and I'm hot. So I'm going to call it a day, and I will come back tomorrow, and hopefully we will get a lot more done tomorrow. Hey y'all, welcome back to The Project Lady. It is day 2. I've got about 3 or 4 hours, and it's really hot again today. We're gonna get this fence line cleaned up and get some weed eating done. My mower is getting some new tires, so we won't be mowing today, but we will mow tomorrow. So it's looking more like a 4-day job and not a 3-day job, but let's get busy. have reached the limit of the shade, so I'm not going to go any further. It's way too hot. So I'm going to move up here to where there's more shade and do some weed eating. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Project Lady. Today it is day 3 of helping my neighbor with his rental property, and I am hoping to get some mowing done today. I'm having a pinched nerve issue with my neck and shoulder. I think too much weed eating and tree trimming. So I'm going to take a break from all of that and get the yard mowed. It's pretty high, but it's nothing crazy. So it shouldn't take us but an hour or so to get it all mowed down. My mower is a mulching mower, so I have to go a little bit slower. I'll probably go all the way up 4.55, however high the blade will go. And then I will drop it down and do it a second time. If not today, then I'll do it again in a couple days. Once the clippings dry, I'll do it a second time. So let's get busy on this project. welcome back to The Project Lady. I am getting finished on this yard. It is day 4 of this cleanup. Actually, I'm hoping to get finished on this yard. I have a lot to do along the edges. We've had some rain the last couple of days. I've been dealing with a neck injury and I've had a few setbacks like a beach vacation. So I am getting started back and I'm gonna get finished today with the yard. And then tomorrow I'm gonna work on this jungle. So this is on the outside of the property fence between, well, it's on the outside of the backyard fence between the backyard and the new fence that they put up for these apartments that they built. So we're actually going to try and take this fence down because it is broken down there. It's no longer up, so it's not holding any, it serves no purpose basically. So we're gonna see if we can take the fence down and haul it off. If not, then we will just trim around it. I'm going to get that tree cleaned up today, that bush, and get all of the edges trimmed. If you remember, we mowed the yard last week. It looks like the renter came and mowed since then and cleaned it up just a little bit, but we will get everything cleaned up and then we will do one final mow and get it all looking pretty, and then you will love the before and after pictures. Let's get ready for the project. second one of this back part, and then look at that. Don't think my regular weed eater is going to handle all of that, because that is some thick stalked weeds back in this corner. So I may have to get some sort of blade attachment for my weed eater to get through that thick stuff. But tomorrow I will pick up on this and continue down, and then I will mow all of this area. But I do have to be careful because it's uneven. It's like a hill right here, and there's some holes here, so I'm gonna have to be really careful if I mow back here. I may end up just raking and weed eating. But here's where we stand today. I guess it will look worse before it gets better.